Could there be a conflict between my interest in learning Torah and the obligation to daven? Everybody knows that Talmud Torah is a mitzvah min haTorah. About that, there is no doubt. Tefillah, as we pointed out again and again, is a machloket. The Rambam says it's a mitzvah min haTorah, it's a biblical obligation. The Ramban says that it's only rabbinic. The Shulchan Aruch in Siman Sadi, Seif Yudchet, he says this: Beit Midrash Kavua Kodosh Yoter Mi Beit HaKnesset. If you have a Beit Midrash, which is a place that people learn Torah, and you have a Beit HaKnesset, which is a place that people come together to daven, so he says without a doubt that the Beit Midrash has greater Kedusha than the Beit HaKnesset. The place where people learn Torah full time, all the time, has certainly a place that has a special status. And a Beit HaKnesset where people come twice a day or 3 times a day, and the rest of the time is empty or not used, that is of a lesser sanctity, and therefore mitzvah litpalel bo yoter Beit HaKnesset. That's what the Mechaber says. The mitzvah, the obligation is to daven in the Beit Midrash, even more than there's an obligation to daven in the Beit HaKnesset. Of course, this is assuming that in both places you could daven with a minyan b'tzibur. If that's the case, the advantage will be to daven. The advantage is to daven in the Beit Midrash and not in the Beit HaKnesset. Ramah adds, "Yesh omrim dafilu below asara, adif litpalel bebeit HaMidrash hakabu lo." And there are those who argue that if I learn in this Beit Midrash, this is my place, I'm the one who sits here all day long, even if there is no minyan, there may be an advantage to davening in the Beit Midrash. And then he goes on and says, the Ramah, Davka misha torato umnato ve'ino mitbatel b'lav. We're talking about a person who really learns all the time. That's what he does. And he doesn't do anything else. Afilu hachi lo yargil atzmo la'asok ken. It says, the Ramah says, but in spite of all of that, there is a reason to avoid davening without a minyan in the Beit Midrash, even though it's your place and it's where you daven and it's where you have grown in Torah and in learning. Nevertheless, there's a downside. Shelo yilmedu amei haaretz mimenu v'yitbatlu mibeit HaKnesset, because the amei haaretz, who are not able always to make the right considerations, the people who are ignorant of Torah, and the people who don't always ask, they sort of just come to conclusions on their own, which is one of the signs of an am haaretz, someone who assumes that they understand things that they don't really know very much about. So that the am haaretz may conclude, look at him, he's a person who learns Torah, he's a person who's very knowledgeable, but he doesn't think that davening b'tzibur is that important. And therefore I, the am haaretz, can follow his lead on this matter. The Kol Shekain, the Ramah says, Kol Shekain. Moreover, a person should not learn Torah in the shul. In shul, while the tefillah is going on, I mean, that's what he means, and especially in the time that the community is involved in saying those boring, long parts of tefillah, slichot utechinot. So apparently the Ramah says that there were people who did this. They got up to, like on Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, the beginning of the week, we said slichot, which is an expanded version of the Yud Gimel Midot, Sha'HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Midot of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Midot of Rachamim, Hashem Ke'el Racham B'Chanu. And we said it again and again with long poems separating the saying of these psukim over and over again. And it's true that those long poems are sometimes difficult, usually not perfectly comprehensible. So the Ramah said there were people who were Talmidei Chachamim who came to the conclusion that in heaven they would probably prefer my learning something that I understood instead of saying these things that I don't understand very well. So the Ramah says, in the contest between Tefillah b'tzibur and Talmud Torah, Tefillah b'tzibur is more important. In the context of Tefillah b'tzibur itself, even in those places where you might think that you could sort of digress and learn Torah instead of doing what the tzibur is doing, that should be avoided according to the Ramah. And instead we have to concentrate on doing what the tzibur has to do, because we are not just individuals while we daven with the tzibur, but we are models. Each one of us is a model for others. Not everybody is a model for everybody, but most of us are models for somebody, and therefore we have to consider that when we're davening, we're not just davening, but we're also modeling for others who are davening with us, b'tzibur.